Beloved nation, we're back to deal with the rest of the message that deals with the Baltimore Francis Scott Key Bridge being hit by the cargo ship, the Dolly, and how the numerology in all of its essence, in the measurements of the boat, the date that it happened, and all that transpired in the seen and the unseen lines up to speak to the children of Yasharala, the chosen children of Israel, God's chosen. Now, some may say it's a reach, but I'm reminded of the scripture where it says it's high time that we should awaken out of the sleep state. I left off dealing with Sigmund Freud and the painting of Salvador Dali that related to the Baltimore bridge collapse. Now, when showing this, there are many that would give the elite credit and take away the praise and the glory from the Almighty One. But I'm here to tell you that thinking themselves to be wise, they became fools. And so I want to dig back into this part of the bridge, because the bridge had many meanings. It had many things of symbolism, just as Salvador Dali's painting had several instances of understanding and codes encoded within the painting, because he would take pieces from here and there to communicate a direct message by the painting or by the image, which we know they dirtied up our image and our imagery and gave us a vain imagination. And so I want to deal with that aspect of talking about the bridge. Now, earlier within, I forget which part it was in, but we talked about that a bridge, this house of cards, the first time that term was used was in 1645. And that term, house of cards, was tied unto a term which was called the House of Burgess, which the first time that term was coined was in 1619, and the Burgess are synonymous or attached to the Confederate forces of Virginia, which then led us into the 400 years from 1619 to 2019, where we saw catastrophic events that began to culminate in 2019, letting us know that the Father is on our side. Let me plug this phone up. It's saying that the battery is low. Give me 1 second. For technical difficulties. Now, from 1619 to 2019, We know the significance of the 400 years. Now let's see how this plays out in dealing with the bridge and what the Mighty One is revealing. In 1619, we know that's where it's reported, I believe in Jamestown, Virginia, that in this port were the slaves, uh, so-called, coming to the port of Jamestown. And these Confederate forces in the state of Virginia developed in the 20th century. It was developed into a bridge state between the North and the South. Virginia was considered to be the bridge state between the North and the South, meaning that it was the glue state that kept these two entities of the North and the South together. And the reason that they were gathered together, it culminated in the sense of the story that is told of our captivity coming unto the ships, or the port of Virginia in 1619. Now that we're studying about the bridge, we would have to go into what Sigmund Freud at a specific time believed, and then Salvador Dali, who is named after the ship, or the ship is named after him, that hits the Francis Scott Key Bridge. What are these intricate connections that the Most High is saying to his children? Well, when we look at the historical parts of this, knowing that Virginia was a bridge state between the North and the South to keep them together, we would have to look at in the historical text when there was a breakdown within this bridge, because the thing that was fueling it was our captivity. So now the North and the South are together, and Virginia is a bridge state. But then we have to come up on historical texts to find out that there was a civil war that broke out, and the Civil War broke out in 1865. No, the Civil War broke out, or the beginning of the Civil War, my fault or error, was in 1861, and it started April the 12th of 1861, when the Confederate soldiers bombarded the Union soldiers in Fort Sumter in South Carolina. Now this was on the date of April the 12th of 1861, and the end of the Civil War was in 1865, April the 9th. We're getting ready for a total eclipse. The time lines up perfect. So I say to my Israelite brothers and sisters, I say to the nation of Yasharala, I say to the Zedekites, the kings and queens, rise, O Israel, Qam Yasharala, rise, O Israel, Qam Yasharala, rise, O Israel. Qam Yasharala. As we rise, they fall. Now, in this total eclipse, because what's signified, or what is the signal that is sent out as a warning shot to warn of what's to come. When I was reading the reports, they say when the ship hit the bridge, they don't have a call for Mayday. Mayday is a precautionary, according to those of military status, and you can put it in the comments. Those of military status say that have worked in the Coast Guard. They say that Mayday. Whenever you see that there's a disaster in lives at stake, you got to call Mayday. So now I realize that we were thinking that Mayday was just some term they made up. Now I know that within the nation, that was a word of power for them. A word of power that they would use to summons powers when they found themselves in trouble. Glory to your name. All praise to the Holy One. And there's more.